13 days ago, I made a video and I titled it Imminent Crash question mark. And I recommend everybody watch it, but this video is about to be about Palantir because a day ago, one of my subscribers, Vivixi, asked me time for another Palantir update one day ago. And of course, here you can see some other comments that aged like milk. And this is that video, and here you can see on the screen the main point of it, which arrives. And by the way, salute to all of these people who watched the video, the original video, and stayed all the way to the 10th or 11th minute to get the point, at which I basically expect the market around these times, as you can see on the screen right now, around February, March, right here, to make it to these levels, which is 26.95, or in the video I mentioned 27 level, give or take. Of course, there could be some slippage around over the 26.95, and of course I talk about the 25 resistance that will be crossing around that period of time. How long? Of course, I couldn't have been able to be certain at that time before. While making this prediction. This video was actually made and released on August 23rd, 2023. I'm using, notice that. Or in other words, it was released, pardon me, here it is. Well, no, here. So, pardon me for the technical issues. But anyway, here it is. I released it 5 months ago, and it's time for an update. So with that in mind, let's look. Usually, I look at I look at the indices, and those who watched the previous video, and I'm not gonna get too much in depth, know that I expect that potentially we're not at the upper limit of this trend, and we could still see us make the price action on the major indices. I'm just gonna be talking about the S&P 500, of course. The Russell is relative in its own price range, similar movement, of course. And I'm expecting on the S&P for us potentially, I'm not saying that where the higher limit will be, it even can be slightly above this point, right, or where it says C. Right now it can be anywhere in between here and there. That's where my assessment stands. That number happens to be 5,000 or 5,254.73, give or take. Again, it's inaccurate, it's a give or take point. Look at that as a 5250 or 5250. That's where my range sits now. Looking back, and as this video is basically about Palantir, and I'm not gonna go too much into too deep of an explanation. I'm just gonna show you the current price action, and I will kind of explain to you that my original expectation was that by this time, so give or take, we're going to match these highs, the 27 right here, as you can see, which some people right now are probably looking at their screen and screaming, but what about the gaps? There are plenty of gaps. Palantir looks like Swiss cheese. I would say not exactly. Those are pseudo gaps. Right now we're looking at the chart in the daily format, 1 day, as you can see. And if we switch to the 4-hourly, and we will have extended hours on, we will be able to see that really we had full price action going through these price ranges. And these are basically pseudo gaps, although there are systems that will be tempted to try and close that, but this is where the manual factor comes in, and the human factor, basically interference and the ability to prevent that. But with all that in mind, and remember, I do think potentially we have maybe a little bit of a run up. This could be the ceiling as well, because remember the original prediction was made over 5 months ago. I'm expecting a correction that can bring us down, or well, at least for right now, as a first stepping stone. I'm expecting the market to correct to our 20 levels, which are give or take here. And subsequently, as the correction will proceed, I expect the market to reach the 16 area, which is give or take here. Okay. Now, I'm not going to predict how soon these will happen, because the market is very volatile and we do depend on conditions and various things that haven't really came into play yet. So I'm not going to give you a time frame on this, but I will say that this is my prediction. And in fact, I will emphasize that it could even get worse than 16. But for right now, I will hang on and say that my low is 16. It might change as we progress to the actual correction, and I will be able to then tell how severe it's going to be. And for right now, I'm gonna stand with the 16. Also, I gotta give a huge shout out to all the people that helped my little humble channel on YouTube succeed and make it to 1,000 subscribers. And I highly recommend and invite everyone to join my and Tom's community on Discord. Here it is. Right now, you can see it on the screen. Um, we have a public area. We also have a members area. You also have my individual area that is dedicated to my individual students. And of course, the area where we just joke around. And it doesn't matter. Everybody are more than invited and welcome to join our little humble community that is now closing on the 6,000 members, 6,500, sorry. We're right now at 6,300 members at this time. And you're more than invited to join our community. Of course, please, if you don't mind, drop me a like and a subscribe. I'll tremendously appreciate that. And for now, have a wonderful end of the long weekend. Thank you. Cheers.